Hello and welcome to the skating lesson. I'm Jennifer Kerr.
And I'm Dave Lees.
And we're at Nationals, Dave. We made it. I just got in here a few minutes ago, but Dave was here earlier, so guys, my flight was delayed by 6 hours. Love that.
6 hours of heaven for me.
We're sharing a room, so this is all new. But Dave was able to go to the ladies' practice, so I don't know anything about it. Tell me, let's start with Diva Wagner. Tell me about her practice today.
Well, Diva Wagner was in the second group today. She practiced right after Gracie Gold. She was early on in the practice. I think the interesting thing is that early on she was having, she had a problem with her triple flip, and then there was an issue with her combination. Ashley was very clear to me in the mix zone that she only missed one. I know someone thought that she...
So do you have a quote about this? Should we play
do.
this right
Someone
now?
actually thought that she... Okay.
Well, the flip is usually one of your strong jumps. How did you feel about it early on in the practice? We saw you have some issues with it.
Oh, I didn't have issues. I had one weird fall. Just one fall, so that's not issues. Don't give me that.
Someone actually came up and thought that she was giving me sass afterwards, but she said that she thought that that response was a little bit Jennifer Lawrence, but it was...
So was this a long program, short program run through?
This was her long program run through. As usual, she left out the spin before the loop, half loop sow. We spoke to Ashley about this as well.
What does Michelle Kwan say about the spins, guys? So what did she say? Yeah.
So Ashley's saying that she only did it in the beginning at altitude. So we had actually heard from a couple of sources that she hadn't done it ever all the way through. And a couple people said that that's not really Raphael's specialty. He kind of goes with what the skater likes to do.
Well, we see this week and at home that you often leave out the spins before you do the loop, half loop, sow combination. You did in Colorado as well. So why do you leave that out? And do you think it kind of sets you up for success for the loop, half loop, sow, which you sometimes have issues rotating?
It's something that I do early season because it's a nice little break. The past couple of weeks, when I was kind of first getting into altitude, I would leave out one spin, but I've been doing full run-throughs at home. So here it was more mentally like, okay, here's my break, now let me focus on the jumps, because this session is really about getting my feet wet, getting the jumps underneath me, getting used to the ice, and really the layout of the program. So it was more just to focus on the jumps.
Yeah, which is, and just as a skater, I've said it before in some of our shows, when you leave out a spin, it makes the rest of the program so much easier. Because you basically, like I said, you restart your program. So if halfway through your program you just get to not do the spin, the rest of your program you're going to be more relaxed, you're going to have more energy, and you don't get that when you go out to compete. So, and when we were in LA, she was leaving out the spin. So.
And I thought it was interesting. She spent a lot of time doing single loop, half loop, triple sow, single loop, half loop, triple sow to get the rotation.
Yeah, the tightness.
But again, I think that if you're not doing the spin before it, how are you going to ever practice that
effectively? Yeah, because your legs,
effectively?
it changes the way that your legs just snap and everything.
So as usual, I think that's something to watch, and I think that there's always that little bit of room for kind of a reason or an excuse if it doesn't go quite well. I thought it was also interesting that Ashley was saying that her goal isn't to win here, it's to do her job, and to me it sounded like she was backtracking a little bit, leaving some room. I know she doesn't want to put too much pressure on herself, but I thought that it was a little bit strange. Obviously Ashley is here to win.
If you come here as a skater, you want to win.
Yeah.
So money on it, we'll talk about Gracie in a little bit in our next segment. What did you overall take away from Ashley's practice today? Good day, bad day?
You know, I think she had a good day. I think there was room for improvement for sure. I don't think that she left anything on the practice ice. I think there are some question marks, I would think, going into tomorrow. I'm curious to see how she will do in the practice tomorrow. I think Ashley looks ready, she looks trained, she's definitely going to make that world team. I don't feel it's a situation like in Boston where she looked a little bit shaky in the practices, but I don't think it's for sure that Ashley Wagner will win here. It's certainly going to be a competition. Excited to see her tomorrow.
Yes, and they skate back to back, you guys. This is what we were talking about last week, that you couldn't have planned it any better because the short program draw is completely random. So we're very excited, but we'll be back in a little bit to talk about Gracie's practice here on the Skating Lesson.